Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video. Today, I am making good on a promise that I have made like earlier on in the year, I think, or late last year. This is one of the jigs that were sent to me by Ray Chen, a subscriber from Australia. And Ray finally getting around to rigging these. Sorry, it's been crazy, but yeah, anyway, we're doing it now. So for you guys that don't know, this is an Ocea jig. It is the King Slasher. It's a fast jig. Alright, so we're gonna be rigging this with a single hook today. And the reason why he sent a few, okay, and the reason why I'm starting with this is because it's kind of pretty standard, and I guess this is one of those jigs that's JDM but highly accessible by a lot of people everywhere. In fact, I think we have this, or no, I know we have this here. Okay, so as always, hook size, where it sits ideally should be exposed like so. Alrighty, this is something that Wael actually got me from Thailand, so Wael, thank you very much for this. Alright, line, we go like that. Okay, easy way. So place it where you want it with the length of your binding, let's say. Okay, like that. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, should be around there. Okay, I'm wrapping this to simulate the knot. Okay, so it sits there, back, and that's your length. Okay, so we cut this here. Okay, so that length. When we splice this, it's gonna get shorter. It's actually just a measurement for convenience. It's not accurate 100% or so. You know, it's just something to go by. So if you have a better method, go ahead and do that. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, this channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. We cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. And today, we are rigging an Ocea King Slasher sent to me by our friend over in Australia, Ray Chen. And so we're just using a splicing needle, of course. And I have to say, this is Fish Fighters, actually, the what do you call this? Marine Blue Fish Fighters. And this is, I think, 150. Okay, so we are splicing. This will take time, but I'll bring you guys back in when this is spliced. Okay, we have spliced it, and we used a GP ring here. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna have you guys come in so that you see how I rig this, and it's gonna be pretty simple. Okay, now you can see we want it to sit right there, and our line is actually kind of long because, okay, so basically you want it just that length right there. Okay, so it will sit right about there. That's where you want it. All right. Now, kind of long. But what we're gonna do is we will get a loop here. Okay. We're gonna put it there. Okay. So your length, and we're gonna do loops like that, about 3. Okay, on the 4th, we will insert it on the tag right here. And be careful not to tighten, okay? You don't want to tighten. And what you want is just to pull right there, okay? That. Now, you want your hook pull tool and this right here. Clip or grip the tag end, pull, okay. Use this to further tighten it. Let's say, there we go, just like that. I'm using 150 for this, and it might be too thin for most places. Obviously, you could use thicker braid if you're fishing in areas with giant fish. But this particular jig is going to be used for longtail, and 150 is more than enough for us. Okay, so that, now you can leave this as is, but I'm gonna bind it. Okay, now if you're asking what I'm using to bind, it is fishing braid. This one's actually Varivas from one of my ultralight reels. It was due for a line change, and this is 0.4 PE 0.4. So I'm making use of the line. Instead of throwing it, I am using it as a binding line for this, rather than throwing it. You know, this is a very good way of recycling thin line. I mean, you guys over at Australia, if you fish for brim, that would be, this would be a very good way to recycle those lines that you have. You know, after some time, instead of just throwing them, we could use this, because you know there's some sections there that don't even see the light of day. After reversing, you know, use it for this, and great. Well, the guys over at the US, you don't use PE, but there's still some thin braid. Okay, now I don't really do this, but I'm gonna show you something that a lot of people are doing. Again, something that I don't really do personally, but let's do it just because there's people that do it. Alright, this is UV resin. I use UV resin for fly tying. So, you know, I have some lying around. Now, there are people that like using this. So I'm going to show you a trick. Okay, so I put a tad bit, and I don't really do anything with it for a little bit. So I put the epoxy, the UV resin, okay, and then I spread it, and I don't do anything for some time. Okay, what I do is spread it, and this is a very thin coat. I spread it around the knot and the binding. Okay, and again, this isn't much. Okay, so what I'm doing by when I say I don't do anything, okay, I just let it sit there. This is equivalent to how we let our I'm gonna zoom you guys in even more, just so you see exactly what's happening here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm wetting the knot, the binding. Okay, so there's is that a bubble? No, it's not. Okay, so we saturate that. So okay, so leave it for a few minutes. I mean, go get some water, uh, do whatever, go to the toilet, whatever. All right, let it saturate. Let it saturate. So what it does is go into the nooks, crevices, and all that. You don't need much. You don't need much when it comes to what do you call this? Um, I am using Deer Creek. Okay, just for people that what do you call this? Or curious of what I'm using. That was Deer Creek, and this is the hard formula. All right, so um, again, just let it saturate. Once you're done, okay, that's when you zap it. Okay. I don't usually do this because UV resin actually doesn't stop curing. So what happens is that uh, it will crack. Okay, UV resin does that. Now this is a white piece of PVC. If you put it like that and then put like another white PVC, guess what happens? It becomes a light box. So that's a trick for you guys if you're interested. So yeah, you can see that the whole thing is actually glowing blue inside. I can't show you. Actually, you know what? Here. Uh, see? I don't know if you can see it, but that thing just... And then you cover that so that the light bounces. And you'll have better coverage for the inside instead of just doing this, So it works. It works. Alright, so that's dry. Okay, right there. Now, let's go ahead and mount it. For fast jigs, I normally just put one hook. And, over the years, there's been a lot of people putting a lot of hooks on these jigs, and I always say one is enough. For fast jigs, one is enough. If you're the type of guy, or if you're one of those guys that actually put more than one, yeah, cool. But you know, accidents happen a lot in fishing, and for fast jigs, majority of the time, it's just this one hook right here that hooks the fish. All right, the rest just snag. So that's the most important hook. All right. Again, you can make this thicker. You could, I mean, probably down the line, I'm also gonna make a wire rig for something like this. But anyway, that is it. You can see that looks crazy clean, and this right there is our jig. Okay, for the thumbnail, Ocea Jigger King Slasher, or Ocea King Slasher. Alright, so that is it for this video. I'm pretty sure, well, it says 20 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be cut down, because I'm gonna be cutting some of the parts that are not important, especially that splicing bit that of course that I said I was gonna cut out. But that's it, Ray. Thanks so much for this. Actually pretty cool. It's a nice jig. See? Chinese jigs can be very nice. Alright, so Shimano jigs are made in China. Really cool. Does it say here? It should be made in China, actually. If it's not made in China, it should be made in Indonesia or something. So it actually doesn't say here. Anyway, yeah, it should be made in China. I mean, even Shimano rods are made in China. So the point is, there's stuff from there that's actually really good, and a lot of companies are actually going to China just for the cheaper manufacturing cost and the experience. They have a very good experienced labor force for fishing there. So there we go. Alrighty, if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. And I know I haven't been answering lately, but I'll get around to it. Whenever I see something interesting that you know, I need to answer, I'll answer, of course. But if you learned something with this video, of course, give it a thumbs up, and especially if you liked, not learned something from this video, give it a thumbs up. Obviously, if you want your friends to learn with you, share. And if you want to help the channel grow, click on the join button. And that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.